Hello, this is Green Beverly EarthSpring series with special guest Sharing Whale, me. And today we have Lindsay Barth of the Third Wheel Bicycle.
Hello. Yes.
Nice to see you, Lindsay.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming on.
Absolutely. Excited to be here.
Yeah. It's nice that we had tea and coffee over at Delphine, so it was nice to chat with you. And you were formerly with Beverly Main Streets.
Yes. Yeah. I've had a couple jobs here in town.
Nice.
I worked at Landmark School for a number of years.
Oh, really?
Yep. Worked with Main Streets. I've always worked in the nonprofit sector. So this new venture into owning a bike shop is definitely new.
Yeah.
But we're about a year and a half in. It's been great.
You and your husband Trey.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And I must maybe I don't know if we'll get a picture of it, but you had a muralist paint your garage door.
Yes. Yeah. So the space we found is it's actually a 1930s gas station that was then converted into a garage, an upholstery shop.
Yeah.
It's been a number of things over the years, but when we found it, it was a vacant garage space that was used for storage.
Okay.
There's a gentleman who has an office in the garage that sells a couple of used cars out on the front lot, but really he was just using the garage space as like storage and an occasional poker game. So we struck a bargain there and we started renting the space and renovating. And one of the main things we really wanted to do was paint the garage door, get something a little more eye-catching on Cabot Street. So we worked with TJ Gansenberg. He's a local muralist. He's a local teacher. He's a Beverly guy. And he's just a really good artist.
Yeah, he did a great job. Yeah. And it was a collaborative effort of color choice and theme.
Yeah, we had ideas. We have our colors that we've been using for the shop. We tend to stay with some greens and some sunsetty colors. So we kind of gave him the palette and let him run with it. And he came up with a really cool design.
Cool. Yeah, and then Trey's from this. Is Texas considered the Southwest, or is that just
I think Texas is its own animal.
It's its own thing, right?
How dare you?
I know.
Yeah.
When I said that, I knew I had.
Trey.
Don't mess with Texas.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Right.
Except when you leave, and Trey has very much left. So he grew up in San Antonio. He lived in Austin for a bit, but he came up this way for college. Went to Hampshire College, and really loved it up this way. And we actually met when he was up here just for the summer. He was finishing his grad program at SCAD, actually. So he was in Georgia at the time. Mm-hmm. He'd come up to visit his parents. We ended up meeting, and then he never left.
Oh, my goodness. Awesome. It's quite the love story.
I recruited him.
That's great.
It's fascinating how people find Beverly.
I know.
There's so many stories of My wife found it from all the way from South Africa,
Wow.
So,
Wow.
So it came here on a lark.
I'd love to hear that story,
Yeah.
actually.
She got recruited to work as a physical therapist in Leominster, and then worked there a year, and then went over to Salem Hospital to work.
Oh, okay.
And needed a place to stay. She just drove to Beverly. She was on Lovett Street.
Yep.
And down towards Appleton, a big apartment building, and she just took her bike out of the car. And there was a for rent sign, and that's how it happened,
Wow.
So, but everyone has like a little story. It's really, really interesting. Beverly's such a cool place.
It really is. It's I'm not from here. Trey's not from here, but we both have just made this city our home in every way. I mean, all our friends are here, our community's here.
Yeah.
Business. Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah. And Julia, you're born and raised.
Born and raised.
Yeah.
Beverly Hospital, Beverly High School.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And then I met my husband in Cambridge in our early 20s, and we were looking around for a place to settle in, and I was like, I'll go anywhere except Beverly, because I'll be a townie, and I'll try something new. And I had traveled a lot, and we got here, and first of all, it was very different from when I grew up. It used to be a lot sleepier, and
quieter,
now it's super vibrant. And,
it has changed a lot.
He totally was like, we are going nowhere but here. And I'm like, okay.
That's great.
That's good with me.
Yeah, I've been here long enough to see different stages of Beverly.
It's growing up.
It has. And so Third Wheel Bicycle, it's like a community-based bike shop. Is that sort of your
That
vibe?
was the idea.
Yeah.
So we're full service. My husband's been a mechanic for years and years. His first job was in a bike shop when he was 16. So he's been in the industry forever. But we do sales, we do service, and we do community-based rides, events, workshops, things like that. We kind of wanted to, I don't know, be a resource for anyone who likes to bike, but maybe isn't like, super into it yet, or needs some help, or just wants to get into a different scene.
Right. Yeah, because I'm definitely like a casual rider.
Yeah, I would say the majority of our riders. Our group rides are very casual.
Right, yeah.
More social than hitting any personal bests.
Yeah. That's about my speed.
Yeah.
So that's
So to
awesome. That's a
speak.
nice little niche there. Yeah.
It's great. I have yet to tap into it, but I am very curious about that because I feel like bikers, you have a particular breed of bikers, right? And they have the clothing and they have the shoes and they have the certain bikes and they know how to do stuff. And then I have a bike and I also can't go too far because if something breaks down, I'm not quite confident enough to fix it and get where I need to be and do what I need to do. And then there's this like whole piece of like biking in the city or, and the rules, which I technically understand, but intrinsically I need more hand holding. So I love the concept of what you've pulled together. And I am excited to really delve deeper into what you offer for the community, because that's what I feel like I need. And I actually talked to someone this morning who was saying very similar stuff, that interested in putting herself out there and using bikes as a mode of transportation and function beyond just, to the park or whatever. But looking for a little bit of extra support on getting familiarized and comfortable out there.
Definitely.
So,
I mean, there's barriers, right? Like I think that was something that we were kind of looking at when we were figuring out how to start a shop, how to build a business plan. And the thing that I kept coming back to was like, okay, I don't necessarily feel super comfortable walking into bike shops around here, not knowing every component's name and what's going wrong with my bike. And I truly, that's not the type of biker I am. I'm similar with my car. I'm like, I don't know, it makes a noise, like fix it. So that was where I was coming in. That's a barrier, right? Because then some people might feel uncomfortable walking into a shop. Now the barrier is safety. A lot of bike infrastructure has happened here, but it's not, we don't have like separated bike lanes. It's still, you're riding within traffic. And so if you haven't had that experience, that can be a barrier. Learning how to fix your own flat, knowing that you have the capabilities to get yourself out of an issue if you find yourself stranded on the road. So those are all the things we're like, okay, how do we kind of work that into our business model to give people that resource or the confidence to even try to pursue learning a bit more.
And it just thought of this, and I've got this with some of your other guests as well. Is a sense of self-empowerment from doing that, fixing your own flat,
Definitely,
and taking the bike to the downtown to get a coffee or gallon of milk or what have you.
For sure. I mean, it's such a small thing, but like every time I have an e-bike. It's a cargo e-bike. It's essentially our second car. We moved down to a one-car family during COVID, and then we just never went back.
Nice.
And so, I'll go to the grocery store. I'll do our week's worth of grocery shopping, load it all onto the bike, get home, and I've never experienced that sense of accomplishment when I do that in my car. Like that just feels like a boring task.
Right,
but when I get home and I'm like, ooh, like I got all the way home by myself. I mean, I had an e-bike, but like still, I got all my stuff together and I got home, and it just feels really empowering. That's the word for it. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And also, I mean, just to lose, I mean, the impact of getting rid of a car, right, for environmental benefit there, but also like the cost to you to keep that car on the road, even if it's paid for, you're still paying tax on it, you pay gas, repair.
Yeah.
Repairs are like essentially like buying a new car now, sometimes
yeah.
they're so expensive,
It's wild.
And
yeah.
think about the value of a car, having a car in your family. Like there's a certain amount of things that you probably need it for. I mean, in our livelihood and our culture, you probably need it to get far away from yourself, from your home, and transport big things and things like that. But how often do you do that? And how often do you use your car to go within a mile or 2 miles or 5 miles, which would easily be covered by a bike, most of the time.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
The most eye-opening part of it was like not knowing what it would feel like to only have one car. Would we feel restricted? Would we feel like stuck sometimes if Trey's out in the car and I'm home? What do I do? And I mean, we're very privileged. We don't have children. We don't have, we don't need to transport something more than just ourselves most of the time. But so far, I mean, we haven't really felt that restriction at all. I mean, even, unless it is absolutely pouring, like you can go out and once you're wet, whatever. Like get out there and ride. It's fine.
Get the right clothing.
Yeah.
And I would say too, like our community, we're just talking about so much love for Beverly and our community, and how sometimes I need a pickup truck or something. I still don't have a pickup truck. I still have that problem, that challenge to figure out who I know to help me out with that issue, right? So maybe there are times when you might have that, conundrum where you need a pickup truck or you need a second car or something like that. But Beverly's such a helpful place. I just feel like we have a special thing going on here, very community-centered,
very much
group of people that live here.
Very cohesive. And with the way it's set up too, with the train line in the downtown and the ocean,
True.
Yes. And that's actually, I've been using the commuter line as a way. So we live in Beverly Farms. We're right by the Farms Depot train station. And like at least 2 or 3 times a week, if I want to get downtown to the shop or just be downtown to go to Delphine's or whatever, I'll just jump on the commuter rail. It's like $2 or $3 to go from Bev Farms to Beverly, and then here I am.
That's great.
So yeah, it's great.
And you have a ride coming up this Sunday. This will come out the following week, but
well,
is that the first one of the season?
It is, yes. So last year was our first full year open. We opened in October of 2023, and prior to that, we actually started group rides before the shop was ever even open, because that was kind of the first thing we wanted to do, was build our community. So we started group rides the summer of 2023, and then last summer was sort of our first official summer open. We got group rides going once a week. So we've, had to shut that down for the winter, but now we're back and we're super excited. The first ride of this year is going to be Sunday, April 20th. It's Easter, but we're going to be offering 2 rides. One is sort of a very, very, very pared down beginner's level. Like if you know how to ride a bike, but you're a little scared of traffic or you've never ridden in a group setting, this is the ride for you. And if it goes well, I mean, this is a test. We've never done a ride like this. But if it goes well, we'll do more, because I think this is that's what we keep hearing is people saying like, oh, I know how to ride a bike. I just don't know how to ride here. I don't know how to ride in the road. I don't know hand signals. I'm not confident enough. So I think the best way to become more confident is to be out in a group. Traffic treats you differently. You get a little more confident. You can test some things out and just make sure that you feel good. And so we'll be doing that on Sunday. We'll also have our one of our favorite routes of last year was a ride that goes from the shop over to Winter Island in Salem. So we'll be doing that ride on Sunday afternoon. And then our weekly group rides are Tuesdays at 6, and those start up next week too.
Meet at Third Wheel?
Yes, yeah. We start and end at the shop on Tuesday nights. It's usually about an 1.5-hour ride. We'll sometimes switch it up. It's anywhere between like 6 to 7 miles up to 12 to 15 miles. And we'll always let people know ahead of time just so you can kind of plan what kind of ride you want. But it's always a slow pace. It's always a no drop ride. So you're not going to get left in the dust. I'm always the sweep in the back, and I'll ride with whoever at whatever pace they're at.
Great.
Yeah.
Awesome. So a community base, you're building community through these rides.
Yeah, and that's
nice.
been the most exciting part about the business, I think. we started this not really knowing if there was an appetite for this kind of riding. The really only riders I had seen out on the road were, weekend warriors. They had their spandex and they're going for personal bests and they're
Good for
on their
them,
road
though.
bikes.
Great.
Yeah, no,
Yes,
I mean,
but still.
I can't keep up with any of them.
Can't hop in there.
But, we had this sort of idea of like, what if it was social and super inclusive? And I had no idea if people were going to show up. And they did. And it's been amazing. We've made so many friends. And, weekly last year, we had anywhere between 20 and 30, maybe upwards of 40. We had 40 group riders on our last ride of the season.
Amazing.
Yeah. And it got to the point where we kind of just took the lane and just were this big mass. And it was
That reminds
amazing.
me, first of all, our what's the age limit on the group ride for like that?
So we're 18 plus right now. We have a group ride waiver that everyone does need to sign for liability purposes. So that's,
Okay.
that's the level we're at right now.
My other question is, we had talked a while ago about these walking school buses that go to schools in the area. Have you heard about this?
No.
Bike
Where
bus.
kids will meet at a school bus stop, and
Okay.
then they'll walk as a group to school.
Nice.
And it's to encourage walking, right?
Yeah.
And we're wondering if, and Lindsay has already thought of this, that maybe there'd be a possibility to do that with bikes.
Sure,
And have
yeah.
it be this like sort of designated day with signs and support. And
Yeah.
have like a big beehive
Yeah.
going down the street with kids and grown-ups and
Fun.
It
Yeah.
would be,
at least like once in the fall maybe, or maybe even more, but they do it a couple times.
yeah, there's a couple communities locally that are doing it. I think maybe Cambridge, a couple places down near the city, and that maybe they'll do them on like a Friday morning or something. But it's parents that are sort of riding ahead and around and keeping the kids safe. But there's a lot of instruction, education that goes into it. It makes kids better riders and just a little bit more aware. I think the biggest thing always is safety, but I always feel really safe in a group. So if we could start to build that culture in Beverly and have drivers be more aware of the fact that there might be bigger groups of bikers out there, I think it'll just improve everything for all
Everybody.
riders and
Yeah.
drivers and everybody.
Yeah, start working on that.
Yeah.
I also remember we've had our bikes tuned up at your place, which came up,
Nice.
which was great.
Awesome.
And we also went to an event at Third Wheel about a year ago where there was a food vendor inside the garage and a beer truck that sort of backed up into the sort of near. You have like a back lot behind the building.
Yep.
And it was fantastic.
Thank
It was
you.
a great time.
Yeah, it was that the one in the winter? Was it like,
It was colder.
we had a fire pit out back, like illegally. That's fine. Had that. Spoiler.
We'll edit that out. Yeah.
Well, when we first opened, we wanted to kind of get our name out there, let
Sure.
people know where we were. We're on sort of the far end of Cabot Street where there's maybe less happening. So we wanted to kind of bring some awareness.
Right,
and,
right, yeah.
What brings better awareness than beer and
Beer and-
food
and fire.
socializing, fire, yeah. So we had an event. We had a couple events where
Yeah.
we worked with local breweries. I
Yeah.
think that one we had, it was like the beer, like a pub, like a mini pub, like on a trailer. So that was Wandering Soul
Right.
brew,
Yeah.
and that was fantastic. We've also worked with Notch over in Salem.
Yeah.
We've worked with the Castle. We've had local food vendors come in, Hill Country Market, Birria Tacos, like just,
Cool.
it's been really, really cool. And
Neat
just-
vibe.
yeah.
And I saw you guys do a really good job with your Facebook little short videos.
Thanks.
And that's your
Yeah,
Your
that's,
work?
That's
Yeah.
my favorite thing to do. Yeah, so my husband is the sort of day-to-day operations. He's our mechanic. He's working with customers, helping them with sales and just advice and everything like that. I am sort of the business side, marketing side, community engagement, and social media falls under that. So
Yeah, great.
I do primarily everything in Instagram, and then I just push it over to Facebook.
Okay. Yeah. Great choice of music. Good editing.
Thanks.
Yeah. It's a really
Thank you.
really well done. I wish I had your skill set.
Well,
yeah.
the content comes easy because it's just us rolling around on bikes and having a good time and
True.
seeing some beautiful landscapes. So
Yeah.
that makes my job easier.
Right. Yeah. So it's amazing what you guys do. I know like that part of Cabot Street. It's not much going on down there. Having lived down there. So it's so nice to see what you guys are doing there, and then also like in reinventing a space, where it was just a storage garage and occasional card game,
Yeah.
and now it's a community place, it's very
We're
cool.
so happy with it. I mean, so the funny thing about the space is, so the one car that we have is actually a little Ford Ranger, a little pickup. So if you need a truck, I got you.
Noted.
But we bought it because 7 years ago, we're walking down Cabot Street one night. We're going down to that little packy right on the corner, Schooner Hannah. And we happened to walk by the lot and we saw this little Ford Ranger. We were in the market for a car and we're like, oh, cute. Okay. So we called, we bought it, done. Guy Hank helped us out. It was wonderful. 6 years later, we're like starting this business, trying to find a space. Our realtor's showing us places that are like $4,000 a month. And we're like, no, we can't do
Right.
that.
Not today.
And he was like, well, my dad has this old garage and he's not really using it. Turns out our realtor's dad was the guy we bought our truck from
Same
6
guy.
years
See,
ago.
no
Beverly.
kidding.
There we go.
Yeah. The
So
Beverly
we walk
magic.
in, we're like,
Yeah.
oh, Hank, here's the truck you sold us. We would like to rent your space. Oh my
gosh.
That's fantastic.
So, yeah, it's we love that end of Cabot. Honestly, it's affordable and it's a great space. It's exactly what we envisioned, and our neighbors are awesome. The neighborhood's great. Yeah, couldn't be better.
Yeah. So yeah, it just shows like what you can do with a smaller space. You can have a much large, right? You can have this large space and essentially be ineffective in the community. But you guys are really leveraging what you have into something really very cool.
Thanks.
Yeah.
It's a lot cooler when we can open the garage door and have a little bit more light
Yeah,
and
sure.
space.
Little airflow.
We're getting
Right,
there.
yeah.
But we're kind of
Yeah.
a seasonal shop anyway, so it makes
Yeah.
sense.
And I saw was it a DeLonghi espresso machine in the video?
Yes. Yes, we upgraded this over the winter. Something that we always wanted was to have space for people to come in and just kind of hang out. I mean, from the start, like you said, it's a tiny space. And I remember my dad coming in when we were renovating and we had brought in this gorgeous leather couch and we put it all in one corner. And he was like, what are you doing? Like, why do you need a couch? You're a bike shop. And we were like, no, we're a community space, but also we fix bikes. Like, that's what we are. And he was like, okay, well, you're going to have to get rid of that couch. And we're like, we'll see. And we didn't. We kept the couch.
Yeah.
We got a coffee table. We got a coffee bar. We installed our espresso machine.
Nice. Cool. Yeah.
And I mean, it's for any of our group riders to enjoy. It's for anyone who's coming in to chat about bikes, to sit down. And, we have like a little mini library of bike books.
Yeah,
So,
Yeah.
Love it.
Awesome. I love it.
Good model.
And with Green Bev, what's happening for Green Bev so this will probably come out next week sometime. So to catch some of those events that are about 7 days out.
Yeah, in particular, if we're thinking about biking and transportation, two come to mind. One doesn't have a date yet, but there's we have a Beverly Bike Committee in our city, and so John Salt last year did what I was just talking about, held my hand, like, not actually held my hand, but like
that would be amazing.
we went for a bike ride together and he explained everything is what I mean.
Yeah.
So, and I loved it because he brought me through some of this trickier places in the city, and he brought me through some of the back roads and some of the areas that only a biker would know about. And he explained some of those hand signals that you're talking about and ways that there's communication when you drive. I mean, it was just really great. And I thought this needs to be recorded.
Yeah.
So I'm going to
Okay.
talk to Amanda and Robert and see where I can
you
get a
can get
GoPro and
a
a microphone
Fun.
and do that again, or maybe go on a group ride with your crew and do something similar. I mean, there's something unique about doing it individually, because that's a different feel. Like you're saying, you don't have that protective beehive thing. So that's one thing I want to do before the spring is over. And then the other thing, it's not bike related, but it's transportation related. And, Beverly's a pretty big proponent of progressive transportation. So we're the first place I don't know if it's the whole country, but it might be the whole country to get an electric school bus, for example.
Oh, I saw that the other day.
So we're on the map, and we're on the map even before that with our electric our solar field that's near the high school, right? That Green Energy Park. So we've got a lot, sort of technologically speaking, we're kind of out there in the forefront, and we've gotten some really nice places where people can plug in their electric vehicles and things like that. There's a company called Polestar in Boston now. They have a new place in Boston, and we're going to be doing an EV sustainability tour. So we're going to be putting it out there pretty soon. It's on May 17th, sometime between 10 and 12. We're going to pick the time soon, but we're going to be getting into Polestar electric vehicles, which are luxury vehicles.
Nice.
And visit different places in the city that we're proud of, sustainability speaking. And that's definitely on May 17th. There's more details to come, but we're probably going to meet near the police station.
Okay.
Because the police station is a net zero building.
Oh, I didn't know that.
By the way. Yep. So there's a lot of little pieces that people don't know about. And I think it will be nice to have a little bit of exposure in some of the stuff that Green Beverly in particular is a part of, but we didn't have anything to do with the police station. So we're gonna, what the city has committed to doing as well. So hang it, save the date.
Nice. Yeah. So and anything else you guys like to share as we come to the end of our chat?
Flies.
I will say we also have an event on May 17th, so you can back-to-back it. We are going to be hosting a part swap at the shop.
Cool.
So this is for anyone who has bike accessories, frames, components, gear, stuff just hanging around in your garage. We have space out front. We're going to sort of map out so people can reserve a spot, bring a table or a cloth or whatever you'd like, lay out all your gear, and we're going to do swap, sell, buy, trade, whatever you'd like to do, but just a way for folks to offload what they don't need and get stuff they do need without, having to go through, having to buy things.
That's really great.
Yeah.
And now that parts could become expensive.
Yeah.
Too,
yes.
I mean, they're expensive now, but.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it's definitely a good idea to, get what you can within your community with the people that are around you.
Sure,
what time is that happening?
So we're going to be doing that all day. It's going to be 10 to 3.
10 to 3.
Yep.
Okay. I mean, it's also a plant swap. Same day.
Oh, really? Wow.
At Cove Community Center. I don't remember the times in the morning. It's either 9 to 10:30 or 9 to 11 or something like that.
Yeah.
And again, plants.
Swapping.
Yeah.
We're
Nice.
Cove
itching for
Community
spring.
Center,
We
and the
all
next
have
day on the
things to
18th
do.
is another one at Aubert Park.
That's right.
Right.
That's the one I planned on going to.
That's I think from 9 to 11.
That's a big one, right?
So that's a big one. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's
A lot going on.
Yeah.
So
That's what happens.
greenbeverly.org. We have an events calendar where all of this is going to be housed. I'm sure you have some on your website too, some information about yours. But yeah, we've got a ton of stuff collected. So greenbeverly.org/events is where we're going to pretty much have all the things.
Awesome. And if someone wanted to get in contact with Third Wheel Bike,
so our website's thirdwheelbikes.com. We have an events section. You can see anything upcoming there. We have a bike packing trip coming up in August.
Really?
Ooh. Tickets are on sale. We're going to be it's micro bike packing. We're starting at the shop. We're ending at Winter Island, our favorite. But we got an amazing campsite that can, up to 30 people can join. We'll have a support vehicle, but we're encouraging folks to, pack what you can on your bike and spend a night out with us. It'll be fun.
I love it.
Neat.
Yeah.
So
That's great.
isn't Winter Island in Salem?
Yes.
So the bike trip is from Beverly to Salem?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Just making
with-
sure.
with
This
your
is
camping
another
gear.
one of those things.
Overnight.
Bike
Nice.
packing is intimidating. You're completely on your own. You have to bring all your food and your gear.
Right. Yeah.
So this is almost like a test run for folks. If you've never bike packed before and you want to just
Yeah.
see what it's all about, but then
Right,
also
right.
if you need to like jump over to a convenience store, there's still that opportunity.
Sure, yeah.
So yeah, we'll
Yeah.
end up doing probably like a 12 to 15 mile loop around Beverly and Salem, and then we'll end to Winter Island and have a little party.
Oh my gosh.
I love it. That's a
Me
great
too.
idea.
It's gonna
Yeah.
be fun. We're
Yeah.
excited. We
What do the
tried to do it
tickets
last
cost for
year.
that?
Okay.
$40 a person.
Okay.
Yep.
That's reasonable.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, and we'll be making a stop at Notch, and we'll cover the first round, and we'll have a good time.
Fun. Fun. Wow.
Yeah.
Love it.
I'm so excited.
Yeah. Well, I mean, join us.
I know what
Grab
I'm going to
those
be doing
tickets.
in August.
Yeah, it'll be great. But and then people can find out everything we're doing up to date, mostly through Instagram, Facebook, all of our social media sites. And stop by the shop, shoot us a message. We're here. That's it.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Sean.
Appreciate it. That was fun.
Yeah, this is great.
Yeah. This has been Green Beverly with the Sharing Wheel. And thanks, Lindsay, of Third Wheel Bikes. Cheers.
Thanks for watching our podcast. If you liked what you saw today, please feel free to go to greenbeverly.org/events to learn more about what's coming up for EarthSpring and other events. Or
If you'd like to support Green Beverly, check out our monthly newsletter. Subscribe to our monthly newsletter on greenbeverly.org. Volunteer or support us as a sustaining member. Also available on greenbeverly.org. Thank you for watching.